Hello my beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. Hello my beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. Hello my beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. For those who know me, welcome back again. Thank you for tuning in. And for those who don't, the new one, welcome. I'm Nancy Explores, and I explore everything. I explore makeup, I explore fashion, I explore travel, I explore hot topics, I explore anything you can think of. So yes, thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy this channel like everybody else has been enjoying it. So guys, today it's gonna be different. Today it's not gonna be about makeup, and it's not gonna be about fashion. Today it's gonna be about a topic that I think and I believe is affecting a lot of people in my community, the Black community, but maybe more the African and the Congolese community. Well, not necessarily the Congolese community, but the African community. So I grew up with this problem in a lot of families, and I've always found it outrageous, really, every time it happened. So I decided to talk about it today because I've been thinking about it, and I've seen the difference between the way we handle it in Africa and the way they handle it here in Europe or in America, just the West. So today, if you had guessed it, today I'm going to talk about inheritance and wills in African families. So are you ready? Let's go. So to start off, I just want to let you know and make sure that you understand that this is my opinion from my experiences, what I have seen, and how this problem has affected the African community or the Congolese community or the Black community in Africa. So like I said, I grew up seeing a lot of family tore up because of this problem. But my question is, why us? Why in Africa? Why don't we have this notion of actually leaving wills to the direct members of the family or extended families or whatever? First of all, let's define what is inheritance and what is will. Yeah. So from my research, I know that inheritance is. So from what I understand, inheritance is basically everything you leave to someone that you have assigned to, take possession of all the stuff that you have left. So your assets, your properties, and everything else, yeah. And the will is basically you writing down what you have. No. And the will is basically you leaving instructions on how that inheritance will be, split up or will be divided between different members of the families or between the people that you have assigned or the people that you have designated to actually receive those assets, if I got it right. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I understand. So like I said, I grew up in this culture where when a member of a family died, yeah? No. So I grew up in this culture of where a member of a family dies, especially a person who has been successful when they were alive. When they die, everything that they have worked for gets just taken away by people that they have not basically designated, if you see what I mean. So they haven't, that before they die, they haven't left a will, and that has caused a lot of problems in the families, and especially with extended families. So for example, if someone dies, like I say, a successful person, you will see all kind of people coming. So people that that they stopped talking when they were alive, people that you've never seen before or heard of. Those are uncles and aunties and cousins coming out of the woodlock and actually claiming the possessions of the person have died. So for example, imagine your dad died and he was a rich, he was really rich when he was alive, and you see during and during or after the funeral, when when people at the wake for so basically at the wake, where people are gathering and just talking about stuff, you see those uncles and aunties that you've never seen before start talking, basically start chatting shit about how, oh yeah, it was my brother, it was my cousin, and now we were really close when we was alive, so we should split the house and we should split this, we should split this. I just listen, that has always baffled me. Yeah, we never seen you before, we don't know you, and you just come out and say that, oh yeah, claiming this, I'm claiming that, because you related. You see what I mean? So that has caused a lot of problem. Why? Because the person who has died haven't left a will, he hasn't left instructions telling people what to do with his possessions, who should get whatever stuff that he has left, like money, the house and all that. So I think it's really important in our community, and especially in my country, that the government or whatever institution taking care of that or creating laws should consider that how all these basically they should consider how not doing that is leaving a lot of family in shambles. You see what I mean? So I've seen it, but I've seen it for myself. I've witnessed it countless of time, how many families has broken up just because the person who has left wasn't, haven't thought about leaving a will and telling lawyers or whatever that, yeah, I'm leaving this for my children and for my wife, and I'm leaving this for my brothers and So personally for me, what is mine, or what was mine, if I leave this world, God forbid, not yet, what was mine will go to my children and my husband. You see what I mean? So I don't understand why they let that happen in Africa, where when people die, like the government or whatever don't get involved on how every asset that a person has left should be split up between the families. You see what I mean? So I think that is really, really important, and I think that's what's lacking in Africa, in the Congolese community, because when you leave a will, yeah, first of all, let me give you the benefits of leaving a will. When you leave the will, yeah, you basically avoiding those situations to happen. You're avoiding the families to be split up. You're avoiding your kids to be left with nothing. You're avoiding your wife or your husband to be left with nothing. That is really important, because when you have kids, when you have family, they look up to you to look after them, even after your death. So you shouldn't just think about looking after your family when you're alive. You have to think in advance, and you have to anticipate what will happen if anything happens to you. But that's the problem, though. We don't do that. We don't do that where we're from. We don't do that in Africa. That really bugs me. You know what I mean? That really bugs me, because I've seen the pain and the distraction of not doing that. I see how this leaves families completely destroyed, completely split, brothers not talking, siblings not talking to each other, the rest of the parents not talking to the children, families, uncles, aunties not talking to the children, or the family or the wife that the brother has left. So that's really, really, really hurtful. It hurt me. It's always hurt me. listen, I always say, yeah, if I had superpowers, yeah, I will be the avengers of the oppressed. Literally, I'll be a Wonder Woman. I will avenge anyone that has been oppressed or or bullied. But like, I will avenge anyone that's been bullied. Period. So let's talk about the benefits of leaving a will, yeah? First of all, your children or your wife or husband will not suffer too much. So basically, it completely depends on how much you left, yeah? But we know your children and your wife will not suffer. Secondly, two, you can nominate anyone. You can have a nominee to look after the funds or the assets or whatever you left to your children or under 18. So basically, you can pick a guardian, and you can create a trust fund, put everything in there, like all the legal documents and everything, and basically appoint a guardian to manage and to look after those possessions and pass it on to your children when they reach 18. Three, leaving a will would actually avoid any further and every conflict between the members of your family. So, for example, like I said, if you leave a will that give instructions on how your possessions should be split, no one, whoever they are, no matter what title they hold, will come and claim those possessions for themselves. So basically, you're protecting your family, you're protecting the people that you have nominated in your will. 4, that also helps you protect your business. Yes, your business will be in safe hands, and it will continue and it will be passed on to the person that you nominated. You see what I mean? Because after your death, if you don't do that, if you don't leave a will and leave instructions, like I said, like anyone can do whatever they want with your business and everything you have worked for when you were alive. You see what I mean? So that's really, really important as well. It helps you even when you're dead. You see what I'm saying? So let's talk about what kind of assets that I think, in my opinion, are really important that you should leave to the people that you have nominated. So if it was me, I would leave shares, bonds, and properties. That's it. I wouldn't leave any cash. I wouldn't leave anything tangible. Why? Because I know that those kind of assets will multiply in the future, and you will actually leave more than you have left. You see what I mean? So basically, over the years, all those, the value of all the things that I've cited the value of all those things that I've cited will actually increase over the years. So personally, I will only leave that, because I know that will ensure my children and their children's future. That's it. I also understand that this practice has been has been there generations after generations. So a lot of people might not think the way I think. But let me just tell you, I know we have our traditions, I know we have our cultures, but the way they do it in the West actually work. You see what I mean? I know a lot of families also also fight against themselves when a member of the family has died here. Don't get me wrong, yeah. I know that in Europe as well, or in the West, a lot of family fight even when the person has died, has left an inheritance or has left a will. I know they fight, but that depends of how much that person has left, and also how they have split everything else. So really, it's really subjective. So maybe that person that has died hasn't had a really good relationship with their children or with his wife or with his brothers and sisters, so they will leave all their possession to one person. So that will create a third as well. I know that, and I've heard a lot of people who said that, yeah, also living wills and living inheritance and whatever create that kind of problem, but they will at least have something. You will at least leave something to one person, and who knows, maybe that person will be generous enough to actually split between, you know, the rest of the family. But I just want to point out that living the will does good than bad, does more good than bad. That's what I think, and that's what I have witnessed, and that's what I would advise anyone, whatever age. To be honest, I already wrote a will, really. I already wrote a will, and my partner already left a will, because they know that death can get you anytime. Doesn't pick anyone, doesn't choose, doesn't tell you what time it's gonna come. It's just gonna happen. And what will happen to the family that you left behind? What will happen to them? They will have nothing. They will struggle for years. You have been fortunate enough to actually accumulate all those possessions, yeah, but maybe they won't. So that will give them a really good start in life with everything that you have left, like all the possessions, all the house and everything. Who knows? Maybe after your death, they would have been homeless, but because you have left a house for them, you see the change, you see the benefits that I'm getting into. So for me, I believe it's really important. I don't care whoever says that, oh, that's white people stuff or whatever, but that white people stuff it works. I'm gonna be honest with you, yeah. I've always said that I will not leave anything to my kids. I will let them struggle. I will let them work for their money, and I will give everything to charity or something like that. I've always said that. But I changed my mind after witnessing how someone close to me, when the mother passed away, the mother left them the possessions, yeah, and how everything she left has just, you know, taken the burden off their shoulders. They weren't waiting for inheritance. They weren't waiting for the money. They weren't waiting for anything. But that actually helped them to speed up all the plans that they had. You see what I mean? So that changed my mindset as well, because like I said, I know, you know, sometimes leaving a lot of possessions to people who've never worked in their life can be a bad idea, and can, you know, push them to become spoiled, to think that, yeah, I have this, I have that, I don't need to work, and that could be a bad idea. But for people who never expected it, that have actually been working, you know, all their life, and that are in debt and have too many things going on that they can't pay, that can actually relieve that burden. That's what I'm getting at. So yes, I changed my mind. I will leave a will. I will leave an inheritance. God willing, if I get to that point where I could, where I accumulated all this possession, I would definitely do that. And I pray to you, I'm actually begging you, people from my generation, please follow suit, because that will help your children, especially in this time and age. That will help your children. I always say it, we are not our parent. Our parent mistakes, you know, can't necessarily be our... We don't have to actually adopt our parents' mindset and mistakes. We don't have to carry this out. We can be different. Yeah, we don't have to carry this with us and pass it on to our children and our children to... We are our own people. We can make our own traditions. We can make our own we can make our own mind up. You see what I mean? We don't have to follow that. So that's really why, you know, that's really what prompted me to actually come to you and make this video and tell you to think twice. Really think twice. Do it now, especially those who are parents, especially those who have children. start thinking about it now, because I believe that is, you know, listen, when I was witnessing those families fighting again, I was really sad. You know what I mean? It brought sadness to me. I was sad. I was pissed off. I was asking my parents, but why are they doing this? Why? It's not a house. The person who has died have lived like many children. You know, in Africa, yeah, they don't play it. Like, they have like 10,000 kids. So they leave many, many children. So why all this? You know what, yeah? Actually, let me go back a little bit, yeah. Africans have these tendencies, yeah, especially Africans with, big families, yeah. So basically, there's one sibling that will make it, yeah. That sibling will be successful in life, will have a lot of, as said, will have a lot of money, and his brothers and sisters automatically think that whatever that brother has is theirs as well. You see what I mean? I just don't understand the mindset. Why would you think that? They think, oh yes, he's having money, he's having all that, so that's the families, that's for all of us. It's not just that. So they are so entitled to think that everything the brother or the sister worked for will automatically be theirs. You see what I mean? So that is a really, really dangerous mindset, especially that is dangerous for the wife of the person and for the children of the person. Because after that person dies, just imagine the wahala. So after that person dies, imagine. That could be catastrophic for the family that he has left. Because those brothers and sisters will come. I've seen it with my eyes. They came, yeah, and they kicked the mom out, they kicked the kids out, and they kept everything else. They're like, yeah, it was our brother, so whatever he made, it was ours, was our families, he did that for us. No. They literally kick out the mother of their nephews and nieces, and those nephews and nieces. Can you imagine? This is how bad it is. I don't know if this practice is still going on. Hopefully, I pray to God that it's not, because I haven't been to Africa in many years, but I hope and I pray that people will stop doing that, because that is a sin. For me, it is a sin. You can't do that. You just can't. It's not yours. Me personally, what I have worked for, again, I will repeat it, what I have worked for all my life, yeah, all the money that I have saved, or the property that I have bought, or all the assets that I have, my shares, my bonds, anything else, yeah, will belong to my children and my husband when I die. That's it. But mainly my children. Why? Because I want to ensure their future. I want them to be happy in life. I want them to start off good. I don't want them to struggle. So people thinking like that, why? You have children of your own. You have a wife and you have children, but you go in and you treat your brothers, same blood, yeah, same blood. You treat them like trash, like they were never family, nothing. No. It doesn't matter how your relationship was with with the woman or the wife or the children. It doesn't matter. But they just lost their dad. They lost someone prominent in their life, and you coming from I don't know where, claiming that's yours. Hey. And the main excuse they use, yeah, listen to this. The main excuse they use is like, oh, witchcraft. Oh, she was a witch. Oh, she cast a spell on our brother. So that's why our brother wasn't giving us anything. Our brother wasn't sharing his stuff. It was giving her everything. It was giving the children everything. So they are witch. She's the witch. She's the one that did that. And now she has now we taking everything that belonged to us, because we believe our brother will never do this to us. No. I'm like, come on, really? Witchcraft. Listen, guys, we need to stop that. We really need to stop that. Nah. Listen, I'm not saying that witchcraft doesn't exist, yeah. Hold on, but I believe, I think it does, like, black magic and all that. I think it does exist, yeah. But that is not the only reason. That is not the reason. That for me, actually, it's a stupid reason. It is, and I don't understand why people don't see it. That's the problem with us Africans. Like we see the bad everything. We see demons. We see the devil in every aspect of our life. You know what I mean? So when someone comes and say that, oh, that's a witch. Oh, she blocked my businesses and no, everyone will fall for it. Come on, you have your own mindset. Yeah, do your own. I always say that. Yeah. Do your own research, yeah? Research your own spirituality, yeah? You don't have to believe what everyone is saying. You are not a sheep. You see what I mean? You know, use logic. But you know what? Yeah, I think it also comes down to education. Unfortunately, back home or in Africa, a lot of people are uneducated, and it's really easy for them to believe, you know, all those yappy that people talking about witchcraft and devil, and it's really easy for them to believe it because they haven't done their own research. You know what I mean? They haven't studied nothing. They haven't really developed that intellect, you know, to see what's logical and what's not, and to see what's real and what's not real. You know what I mean? So in reality, I actually don't blame them. A lot of people who do that are not educated. And you know what they hear though? When they hear all those devil stuff, that actually gets to them. You know what I mean? It gets to them and they start thinking, they actually start believing, yeah, that must be the devil. Well, the devil is probably chilling back in hell, wherever it is. You know? So don't be a sheep. Think yourself. Use your mind. Use your intellect. And see what's right and what's wrong. Because doing that to me is so wrong. It's really wrong. You're leaving a lot of family shattered. You know, people who do that. So to end this video, I would say, no, actually. So to end this video, I would say, write your will. Do it right now. Do it now. If you know you have something in the bank, if you know you have possessions, do it now. And also, don't leave your family debt, just debt. No. Make sure you pay all your debt and not leave your family with your debt. Because that's also what's causing all You know what I also noticed, yeah, is that the people who passed away, those who had debt, those debts will go to you or to your children. Do you understand? So it's really, really important also to deal with all the debts that you have, so that your children and the children wouldn't suffer for it, because that's not fair. You know what I mean? Make your money, do everything, but deal with your debt and don't leave us with that. So to finish off this video, I'll give you one advice. There's only one. Write your will. That's it. To ensure your children's future, to make sure your family doesn't split after you left, to make sure that no one at all, that especially those who were estranged to you, those who were estranged to your family, those you haven't been close to, especially them, will come and take away everything that you have worked for and leave your family in crisis. Leave your family with nothing. So please, you need to start doing it now. We need to start considering it, and we need to talk to the people, our government back at home, to actually implement that law, you know, so that everything, if there's no will, the inheritance will go to the straight lineage. So basically the inheritance will go to the children and the wife or the husband. That's it. And they will decide how to split with that. I think this should be implemented straight away. Nominate a guardian for, if your children are less than 18. Nominate a guardian who will manage. So first of all, create a trust fund. create a trust fund. When you put all the money in there, like your savings, every month when you be putting everything in there, and in the will, make sure you say that everything that you have worked for, your money, your life saving, will go to the trust fund, and you nominate a guardian who will look after that, who look after all those, like, all the paperwork, the assets and everything, and will manage that in the name of your children until they reach 18 or whatever age you want them to get it. It's really important. You should do that. That's for the parents who have children. So today, guys, I just wanted to have a chit chat with you. No. So today we're gonna talk about a topic, a hot topic for me, that has been inflicting a lot of families in Africa. No, maybe not just Africa, but people, yeah. So today we're gonna have a little chat. Something that's been bugging me for years, actually. I've always thought about it. I never understood why it was happening. I just never got it. I never got why we weren't taking major measures. So basically, families, I don't understand why they never take measures when it came to that situation. So yes, guys, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. That's a chat that I wanted us to have, because this topic has been on my mind for a while now. Not even a while, like for years, because I just never understood those practices of people coming out of nowhere and taking everything that the deceased has worked for all his life, and not even think about the children or think about, the wife or the husband that a person has left behind. Yeah, that subject has been bugging me. I had a lot of questions. When I was younger, I was questioning that. I found it so unfair and so sad for the families, going through that. The mothers and the children that have been kicked out of the house because the dad who has passed away wasn't around anymore to defend them, wasn't around anymore to speak for them. That's always bugged me when I was younger. I'll ask my parents, why was that happening, or why was he doing that and that. So it's just sad, it's just sad. Even after seeing that, even after seeing how our families were affected by that, this was just keep continuing. I just didn't get it. I just don't understand why they haven't taken measures to stop that. You see what I mean? How they haven't instructed, families back home on, how to leave a will, how to split up possessions, who to leave the wills to. I just never got it. You see what I mean? And I found it so weird. And I did my own research and saw that in the West here, they leave wills, they leave inheritances. Even though a lot of family, like I said, fights amongst them, even with the will, even with the inheritance. But, someone gets something, and it keeps your mind at ease. It helps. It actually helps. So my plea to you guys, I'm actually pleading you to think about that. Think about your children. Think about the families that you're leaving behind when you're not here anymore. How will they cope? How will they, start off in life? Just think about it, because this is an affliction. It is something that us Africans should start thinking about. A lot of families has been destroyed. A lot of families has been split up because of that. Members of family not speaking to each other, but they used to be close when the deceased was still there, when they were still alive. I don't know if they were pretending. I don't know if they were just support. I don't know if they were just bearing, the children or the wife. and then waiting for the husband to die to actually show their true colors. I don't know if that was the case. I don't know if that was the intentions, but this happened. You know what I mean? It happened. And it's up to us, this generation and all the next generation, to actually change things of how things have been dealt back home. It's time that we actually stood up to those stupid practices and the stupid traditions that has been going on and on and on for years. Us, this generation, we are more educated. You understand? We're more educated. That there's internet, there's everything that helps us to do our own research. That we read more, and just like that, our moral compass it's more acute, if I can say that. So we don't have to act like our parents did, or grandparents, or great-great-great-grandparents. We don't have to act that. We have to stand up for ourselves, and we have to bring our own traditions and our own practices that will benefit our children and our offspring. So, guys, thank you very much for listening to me. I know I'm still a little bit like, my mind is still a little bit scattered, you know what I mean? So I think I'll start writing a script, because I had to I just had to think on how I would talk about the subject. But like I said, I was thinking about that for a long time, and I was like, you know what? Corona got me in the house, so I might as well just sit down and share my views, share my opinions, share my experiences, and give advice as well. I am not a lawyer. I'm just a random person who has seen what not leaving a will and inheritances has caused in families in Africa. So yeah, guys, that was it. That was my 2 cents. Please feel free to share, to comment, to give your opinions, to just to enlighten me on the points that I have stated, or to give to add as well. Add your own opinions. Tell me what I have missed, what I have not talked about, and yeah, we can go from there. So thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate your loyalty. I appreciate coming back here every week. Yeah, thank you very much, and I will see you next time. Peace and love. Bye. So today, Nancy will be exploring inheritance and the importance of will. Yeah, the importance of leaving a will after you have passed out. Mainly in Africa, mainly in the African community. So today, Nancy will be exploring inheritance and the importance of leaving a will. Guys, I cannot stress you enough of how important it is to actually leave a will to your family. You just have no idea of not doing that has been afflicting families generations after generations. It has been splitting families up. It has been destroying relationships. It's just a madness. It's a madness. So yeah, today we will talk about that. You ready? Let's go.